Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching Look at the Truth Rise Up. Hit the like button for this video. Just do it right now. Bing, boom. We're in and out. We're getting the analytics going. Hit the subscribe, and I go live about 4 or 5 days a week. And then check out my Epstein playlist, because I've been covering this Epstein case since it broke in July of 2019, a year and a half, and more news is coming out. A big CEO of a big financial global investment hedge fund, creepy capitalist thing, he's going to be asked to step down because he gave Epstein over $150 million over the years. Weird. That's not weird at all. We all know that's cool. An increased finding that Leon Black, the billionaire boss of Apollo Global Management, paid the convicted sex offender $158 million, touched off an attempt to remove him. So basically, I guess this past weekend or the weekend before, the board of directors were like, this is bad. We want to get rid of this guy. Now, I don't know that they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. Maybe they're, I don't know. But at the very least, they're like, this guy's making us look bad. We got to get rid of him. This is not the first. So they're asking him to step down, and I'm going to go into the article. Apparently there's no like ties to him like being on Epstein's island or committing any crimes, as we know right now. But at the very least, he was financing Epstein. He was helping finance Epstein. So if you're helping finance Epstein, you're helping finance a global pedophile sex trafficking ring. And if you're going to do business with this guy for this long, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to uncover the whole thing. You see, I've been talking about this. The thing about the Epstein rabbit hole, the more you dig, you find all these things. Right? We know the fashion industry, right? Peter Nygaard, fashion, Jean-Luc Brunel, modeling agencies. Trump had a modeling agency. But also what's included in the whole Epstein thing, and we've talked about this before. We talked about that was Whitney Webb. And again, I encourage you to go to my Epstein playlist. Big money, billionaires, hedge funds, investment groups, big banks. I'm going to show you more of these connections. I'm going to show you more of these big bank connections because it's all part of it, right? In that world, in that filthy ruling class pedophile world, that's part of it. I've talked about Bill Gates's connections. So let's get into this. I'm showing you this because this is the lawsuit against Les Wexner. I just did a video by the shareholders. So what's happening is these companies, these big companies, are realizing how bad it is for business to have any sort of ties to Epstein. So Les Wexner, I don't know why he hasn't been charged criminally, but the shareholders decided to do a civil suit, and I just covered this. And now the board of this Apollo group is kicking out Lewis Black, Leon Black. Sorry, not Lewis Black. I want to make sure. Leon Black. Sorry, Lewis. You're a very funny comedian. You have nothing to do with this. But so the board of directors like, this is bad. We got to get rid of this guy, Leon Black. And just like then the L brand, which owns Victoria's Secret, shareholders were like, Les Wexner, we got to get him out of there. Right? Wexner's whole team, his wife, because you can't just pretend like you didn't know what Epstein was doing. And if Wexner has been named by numerous, he is a pedophile and a sex trafficker himself. Maria Farmer lists him as the head of the snake. But this Apollo guy, I don't know that he's that bad. I don't know that he's participated in any of this rape and trafficking, but at the very least, he was financing a guy, and you can't tell me he didn't know. You didn't know something. Apollo's chief executive and chairman, Leon Black, had paid more than $150 million to the convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. I have advised the Apollo board that I will retire as CEO on or before my 70th birthday in July and remain as chairman, he said in a statement. So even then, it's still just like rich guys slap on the wrist. You can't be the CEO anymore, but here's a massive severance package, and, you know, you got to come to the country club, but you just got to come in the back door, or whatever the thing is. Like, he's not. Now, I don't know that any crimes have been done yet. I'm not an investigator, but He gave the guy $150 million. And there's more to it than that. Leon Black plays down ties. Now, this was back in August 1st of 2019. So he was like, plays down ties to Jeffrey Epstein, but is silent on the 2011 deal. So the 2011 deal, we've talked about this a lot. This is the West Palm Beach, Florida deal where Acosta, then the prosecutor, Epstein got caught in 2009, roughly, having sex with a minor is what the charges were. And they gave him a sweetheart deal. Acosta gave him a sweetheart deal. Acosta then, of course, put on Trump's cabinet along with William Barr that has protected Epstein at various times. So when the Epstein story broke in 2019, Acosta said, I'm going to step down because I don't want to cause problems for the White House. No, you don't want to be investigated. I don't want to be a distraction. No, you don't want to show. And Acosta said that he was told to back off Epstein because Epstein was a, quote, CIA asset. Those are Acosta's words. So he claims I didn't know back in 2011. So he said this when all the Epstein stuff came out in summer of 19, August 1st of 19, he said, this is an article in the New York Times. I didn't know. He plays it down. I didn't know. I didn't know when I was giving a guy tens of millions of dollars. I didn't know. But it's bullshit. They've done all this business. I'm going to show you more ties. Look, Mr. Black has not discussed a company that he and his 4 children, as well as Mr. Epstein, invested in 3 years after Mr. Epstein pleaded guilty. So Epstein pleads guilty to sex with a minor. And everybody still does business with him. Ghislaine Maxwell's, everybody still does business with him. Bill Gates does business with him. The Clintons are still doing business with him. They're going to his compound. Like, it wasn't like this all broke in 2011. Everyone went, whoa, I had no idea. I'm done with this guy. Everyone was like, sweep it under the rug because we can get away with it. Because the ruling class can do whatever they want because they have billions of dollars. So there's this company that Black and his whole family were involved with after Epstein was charged and found guilty in 2011. Mr. Epstein pleaded guilty to a charge of soliciting prostitution from a minor. Pleaded guilty. He pleaded guilty. He wasn't even found guilty. He pleaded guilty. So this is the company that Epstein and Black all work together in. I'm going to show you another connection when we get into that company. Mr. Epstein's financial advisory firm took a roughly 6% equity stake in Environmental Solutions Worldwide in 2011. 2 of Mr. Black's sons serve on the board of the company. So I just went to their website. Oh, Environmental Solutions. They have people holding such bullshit. Oh, trucks, sun, flowers. We're good for the environment. I doubt that they are. Emissions testing. No. Mark Young. This is on their front page. Board of directors, company ever on our board. I just checked this out. And I read about Mark Young. And when I went into it, here's what I found. Mark Young was an investment professional at JP Morgan Partners. Oh, we've mentioned ties to JP Morgan Chase and Epstein in the past. Mr. Young focused on venture capital, growth equity, and buyout transactions in Latin America and served as a board member for various emerging companies in the region. Mr. Yang began his career in 1996 at Chase Securities, Inc., focusing on leverage finance for cross-border buyouts. Does that mean this guy is a sex trafficking pedophile like everybody else? No, there's not enough evidence to say that. But I will say this is my opinion here. We know Ghislaine Maxwell had a Save the Oceans environmental non-for-profit, and in there it said, we're helping young children learn about the environment. So they use these companies and non-for-profits. This Environmental Solutions isn't a non-for-profit. But anytime you hear cross-border solutions, that's one of the ways that they traffic. Is this company involved in trafficking? I don't know that. I can't make that claim, but I'm just telling you overall, this is one of the ways they do. They traffic kids. They go into emerging economies, which is a poor country. It's easier to snatch up people in a poor country because their families have no money. In some cases, They pay the kid, the families. Hey, we'll pay to take your kid, to give them the family that can't afford the kid anyway, and they're in a rock and a hard place. Here's money. That's how they do that. Epstein laughed about that. This is in a sworn testimony by Virginia Roberts Giuffre, that she heard him get off the phone and laugh. He's like, everyone's got a price, because some families in like France, he paid them to send their daughters for modeling school or whatever, and boom, they all got trafficked. They were children. So I can't say this is, but this I'm bringing this up because this looks very suspicious to me. And when I hear JP Morgan Chase, I get very suspicious. So it's just, what do I say? Follow the money, connect the dots. So this Apollo guy does over $150 million in business with Jeffrey Epstein. They both invest in this environmental solutions company. On it is a guy that worked for JP Morgan Chase. Now, why is that significant? This is a photo I've showed you numerous times. There's James Stanley. It's actually misspelled. James Stanley. He's CEO of Barclays, but he used to be at JP Morgan Chase. There's Larry Summers, former Treasury Secretary, I believe under George W. Bush. I might be mistaken. There's Epstein. There's Bill Gates. There's Boris Nikolic. Gates' advisor was like a financial advisor in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, also executor of Epstein's will when he died in the summer of 2019. Isn't that a wacky coincidence? So we're hearing JP Morgan Chase again, big banks, big finance, this Treasury Secretary, another billionaire, another foundation. And I did videos on how Bill Gates denied his involvement. I barely knew Jeffrey. I had no idea. Well, here's a flight log of him on Epstein's plane. Bill Gates, Teterboro Airport. Epstein's Island. Is there a smoking gun here? I don't know. But there's a lot of really peculiar coincidences. And when it comes to Epstein and other billionaires, I just have a hard time going, oh, wacky coincidence. Because we know this. Epstein would have these parties. Powerful men mainly would come by. Butler would come up and say, hey, would you like a massage from a beautiful young woman? Oh, sure. It wouldn't be a woman. It would be a child. She'd be underage. So it's a child. They would have sex. They would videotape it. And then they had leverage on this guy. And Epstein would be like, oh, can you invest in this company or that company? Did that happen to Lee? I don't know. I'm asking the question. Did that happen to Leon Black, the CEO of Apollo? $158 million to Jeffrey Epstein? Is there any evidence that Black went to one of Epstein's parties? Did he fly in his plane? Did he go to the island? I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence of that yet. But if there was, I wouldn't be shocked. Why are you giving one of the most notorious pedophiles and sex traffickers ever $158 million? Mr. Black believed that Epstein had served his time. This is about the Florida case in 2011. Served his time. He got, I believe, 13 months, 12, something like that, where he was on in jail, but he could leave for 12 hours a day. And there's evidence, flight logs, where he left, got on his plane, flew to his island, his horrific pedophile island, and then got back in time to sleep for jail. That was his served time. That's how a billionaire that has leverage on everybody, that's how Epstein did his time. Just so we're clear on that. Leon Black. For that case, and deserved a second chance. The report said it found there was no evidence that Mr. Black had participated in any of Epstein's criminal activities or that Mr. Epstein had ever introduced Mr. Black to an underage girl. Okay. Might be evidence somewhere. Mr. Black's payments effectively bankrolled the lifestyle of Mr. Epstein, whom Mr. Black viewed as a confirmed bachelor with eclectic tastes, according to the report. Oh, that's what raping and selling children is eclectic tastes. Oh, all right. Yes. When it comes to food, Jeffrey Dahmer had a wide, varied palate. Eclectic tastes. You see how the ruling class covers this up and hides? Well, I doubt the reasons for the Apollo board of directors is like noble and they want the truth. They're just covering their $450 billion in investment assets. They are in charge of in the neighborhood of $450 billion in people's investments. And big, like the whole state of California's municipal pensions, they're in charge of huge pension funds. Like the state of California's pension fund, I don't even know what it is, but it's I'm sure it's $20-30 million, if not more. It's some big number like that, right? So they're in charge of stuff like that, not to mention big rich people's portfolios and stuff like that. So they're just covering their ass. They're not trying to like help the victims get justice, but this is getting some justice a little bit, that they're getting rid of this guy. Now he still can be on the, go to their whatever. And the corporate media is not going to dig this deep. I just went through the internet today to connect these dots based on all the other research I've done. Is the corporate media going to do this? There's just too many dots. There's just too many coincidences. So I keep seeing the same names and the same banks, and I keep seeing it. I just keep seeing the same people's names keep popping up every time there's an Epstein story. And you just do a little digging and you find a little connection every time. The corporate media is not going to do it because who owns the corporate media? The ruling class. Big billionaires own the corporate media. Some of them are guilty. Some of them are probably on Epstein's hard drive. So they're going to they want this story to go away. They want it to go away. Oh, Epstein killed himself. Oh, we're going to convict Ghislaine Maxwell. Case closed, everybody. Case closed. That's what they want to do. They want you to think that it's done. They want you to go to sleep. Why hasn't Wexner been charged? Why hasn't Prince Andrew been charged? Why don't we have mugshots of Ghislaine Maxwell, Peter Nygard, and Jean-Luc Brunel? Where are the mugshots? Where are those mugshots? We had a mugshot of Jeffrey Epstein, but none of those other people? I want these people arrested. I want it stopped. I want their money seized and given to their victims. I want justice for the victims. So we're not going to let it go. I told you I'd keep covering the story, and I'll keep covering the story. So I don't get money from a big hedge fund. I don't get money from big corporations. I don't get money from the war machine or big pharmaceuticals. I get money from you. You guys support what I do. So I appreciate you supporting the show. There's a lot of great ways to do it. My new documentary, Graham Goes to Russia, is now available at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood or patreon.com/Graham Elwood at the $10 level. Thank you so much for supporting what we do. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth, shave your knuckles for justice. Ba-boom. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.